Hello, everybody. My name is Lauren Bryn Dunn. I'm the Associate Commissioner of the MIAA, and I'm very excited to be here today with Paige Anderson from Kalamazoo. Paige, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing well. Happy to be here.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Paige. I'm a senior at Kalamazoo College, and I'm studying biology and Spanish as my majors, and I'm pre-med, and I run cross country.
Describe your time within the MIAA. I mean, you're, like you said, you're in your senior year, so you've had plenty of time to get a feel for competing in this conference, but just talk to me a little bit about that.
So, in high school, I was really like well acquainted with all of the kids in my area because we all ran indoor track at Breen Track Club together. So then when it would come around to cross country, I'd be running against my teammates, even though they were wearing different jerseys. And my freshman year, I came in and I didn't really feel that. And, I was a little bit slower back then, so that was kind of part of it. But then like at the end of my freshman year, I was like, I didn't really accomplish any of the goals that I wanted to accomplish. And so like I took the time over the summer to like reflect and like actually like build into running and what I wanted to do. And I started getting better. And then, when I started recognizing some of the same faces that I was running against. And so when I would like wait for awards and stuff, I would kind of use that as a social networking opportunity, where I could kind of joke around a little bit. And if people, if they laughed, I'd be like, "Oh, you think I'm funny? You should add me on Strava." I've made a lot of friends on the MIAA from there because I'll add them and then we'll give each other kudos and then we'll see each other at meets and I'll be like, "Hey Jenna, great race." And that's kind of how I started to make friends within the MIAA. And I just think that like running in general, it kind of breeds that relationship where it's not just necessarily like super competitive all the time, but I think that like as runners, you kind of push yourself to the max and like in every competition that you're in, and we're all striving for the same goals to be the best like version of ourselves out there on the course. And I think that that breeds mutual respect and connection that like allows for these relationships to occur. So like I'm running against someone the whole time and I'm not thinking, oh my gosh, like I can't wait to beat them. It's like, no, I can't wait to give them a hug at the end. They're doing so well. So that's kind of been my experience in the this conference so far, and like especially coming back this year, seeing some of the same friendly faces, and especially like when we go to like big meets where it's like our regional meet and stuff, like or nationals last year, like seeing some of the kids from the MIAA was just kind of like a hey, like and we're all family kind of out here at this big race. So that's kind of been my experience and I've cherished it. It's been a great time.
I'm sure you are busy between your studies and cross country, but what hobbies do you have outside of that?
Obviously the cross training hobbies. I love to bicycle. I love to swim. But I also my sophomore year going here, I like heard of the we have an improv club here. And like I had kind of heard of some things of it because we have two notable alumni from the school, Stephen Yoon and Jordan Klepper, like from The Walking Dead and from The Daily Show, and they were both on the improv team. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I went to a couple practices, and then last year I went to a practice, and it turned out to be an audition for the team, and I made it. So I'm on the improvisation team here, and it's really fun. We have to kind of describe that a little bit, we have like open shops for our entire campus on Tuesdays. And like we play games and stuff. So like for example, one of the games you have five improvisers and three of them are just kind of like doing interpretive dances and the other two are like pretending to go through a photo album and be like, oh, what's that? And they all turn to look at the people frozen in place and they have to like put it together. But like the goal is to make a scene out of nothing and just kind of to like jump off of each other, using that golden rule of yes and I think that like that not only has that led to an opportunity for me to like make new friends and connect with people I wouldn't normally connect with. Like sometimes you kind of get stuck in your little athletic bubble. But like kind of reaching out in that sense has been really fun. And it's just like, oh, I actually really love doing this stuff. I love public speaking and I love I don't know, like making scenes and having fun. And so that's been really fun.
You've excelled both athletically and in the classroom as a pre-med student. How do you balance the demands of being a student athlete with your rigorous academic schedule on top of doing, any other clubs that you're involved in or having some sort of social life?
I think that I kind of like learned that in high school. I think I went to Troy High School and we were really competitive, like social in the I mean academically. And so I kind of like gained that knowledge of how having to balance things because I used to play soccer. So like my freshman year I played soccer, cross country, and I did, these classes and stuff. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot. And I kind of dropped soccer. But then I just kind of learned like, oh, I have a select amount of time to complete my homework, but in between practices and like getting a proper amount of sleep, and because you need sleep to be an athlete. So there's that pressure of like making sure that you're okay, like physically and stuff, and that comes with taking care of your body. And so like having these windows of time to do homework is really helpful to me because I'm a procrastinator. And I know like in the off season, sometimes I'll fall into like a man, I have like one homework assignment and it's due tomorrow. I'll wait till like midnight to start it, you know? So having that, like I need to be in a sport. I don't think I could do it without it, because then I'd just be procrastinating like there's no tomorrow. And so having that is really important to like maintaining a schedule. But I also think that my team does a great job of pushing each other, not only on the field, but in the classroom. Like we have every week we have like a meeting time at the library to come work on homework where upperclassmen can help freshmen with the classes that they've already taken at this school. So I think that that's really helpful and like just kind of like my teammates in general pushing each other. Like one of my best friends, she's in Jordan right now, and I had a pretty important paper due, and she's like, "What are you doing texting me? Like you're supposed to be doing your homework." I'm like, "Okay, you got it. You got me." But yeah, I think we just kind of like push each other to excel because like that's why one of the reasons I came here in the first place, and not like a D1 school is so that I could do well here and because I want to be a doctor one day. And like especially just kind of get into that aspect of it. Like I always knew I wanted to be a doctor because my mom one day was like, well, I would tell she's my hero. So I was like, I want to be just like you. And she's a nurse. And so she was like, oh, Kalamazoo College, like they have a great pre-med program. And so I was like, okay, sounds good. And the Coach Kyle Morrison reached out to me, and yeah, that's why I came here.
Last year, you qualified for the NCAA championships, which is a huge accomplishment. What did it take for you to get there, and how has that experience shaped your goals for this year?
It had kind of been my goal since sophomore year, and I missed the mark at regionals by just like I think maybe 10 seconds to qualifying, and that like really stung. So I kind of had that fire like pushing me towards last year. And I think that it's easy to like I think that cross country is such a mental sport. Like from the beginning the when the gun goes off to when you cross that finish line, it's a battle not only amongst your peers but like with yourself, like how far you're willing to push. And I think it's easy to get stuck in a routine of like I'm a pretty goofy person, and I like creating an atmosphere among my teammates, like as a captain, where it's like, hey guys, let's have fun with it, you know? And I think I kind of got stuck in that routine a little bit too much. And like I found myself in a rut in the middle of the season last year. And one of my closest friends, she runs D1 at Notre Dame, Sophie Novak, shout out. And we called and she was like, I'm in a rut too. And I'm like, what are you doing in a rut? You're one of the fastest people I know. She's like, what are you doing in a rut? You're Paige Anderson. I'm like, okay, let's get each other out of this. And we kind of like, so she would race on Friday and I'd race on Saturday and she'd do well. And then I started doing well. And that kind of helped me gain momentum in that sense. But I also think that I was able to like take like an internal reflection a little bit kind of halfway through the season. Because I had like a conversation with my coach and like he was like, you're like, I appreciate you like trying to keep this positive atmosphere, but like, do you understand like the seriousness of what's going on? And I'm like, I took a second and I was like, you're right. Like, it's not just about having fun, it's about like accomplishing something. And I think I took that second to take like what does running mean to me and what does this opportunity mean to me. It's not only the fact that I've like worked hard to get here, but it's about like the journey and stuff, the like why I'm here. And I think that after realizing like just how much this sport means to me because of the people that have helped me along the way. Like my freshman year when I quit soccer, it was because I was getting bullied, you know, and then I like the cross country people like welcomed me in with open arms, and they were like some of the nicest people I've ever met, and I've just continued to only meet nice people in this sport, and just how that's shaped my like the course of my life. Like I thought I was going to play soccer forever, and then I was like, oh, I guess not. I guess I'll run cross country. Um, and that opportunity that like these people have given me and like how it's helped shaped who I am made this opportunity special, and I wanted to do something with it. And qualifying for nationals is a pretty good goal, I think, and that's what I shot it out to accomplish, and I did it. So it was exciting.
Your coach mentioned that you've been involved in various career exploration opportunities and studied abroad in Costa Rica. Tell us about some of those experiences.
Like at Kalamazoo College, almost everybody studies abroad, which is really fun. And I started my freshman year here, like knowing I wanted to study abroad, but not knowing what I wanted to do. But I took my first Spanish course here and I loved it immediately. I was like, okay, I guess I'll be bilingual. Because the program here is really great for that. And like again, like this Kalamazoo is really small. We like less smaller than my high school. So we have that kind of like one-on-one a little bit more with our teachers. I've never had a class size over 30. And like, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll major in Spanish after the first Spanish course I ever took here. And so I wanted an opportunity that would allow me to like practice in a real world setting. And so I chose Costa Rica to go. I went over the winter last year, which was awesome because I got to miss out on a Michigan winter. And I went where it was nice and tropical. And I went surfing and stuff at the beach. But I stayed with a host family, and they were like some of the nicest people I've ever met. Um, and so I would practice my Spanish with them every day. And then the classes I was taking, I took at the private hospital there. And it was like about healthcare systems. It was about there was some about tropical diseases, and then there was like even a course that we took where it was like learning Spanish, but how to talk to patients, like as a nurse. So like, like taking the pressura arterial, like the blood pressure, they're a little Spanish for the kids. And like that was just a great opportunity, like not only to practice Spanish, which is something I kind of picked up along the way, but like to get that in the medical like field and like the class itself. And then I also had the
Doctor
opportunity to
Payson.
shadow at the hospital there, which was really cool. So like I shadowed doctors and like I shadowed some of them in physical therapy and then in um like the MRI area of the hospital, and like that was really cool. So it was a great opportunity overall, and I made some friends, and I had a great time. I think one of the best things I about that was if you've ever been to Costa Rica, it's a little cheesy to say, but they have their phrase that's pura vida, which means pure life, and it just kind of means like, hey, take it easy. It's not nothing's not that like super serious. If we say show up at 8 and you show up at 9, that's good with us, type of thing. And that's just kind of the way of life that they have. Like I'd be running on this street and they'd be like, what are you doing running on the street? Like, why, what's the rush type of thing? And I'm like, oh, I like to run. And they're like, okay. And so there weren't a lot of people doing that, but it was really fun. I had a great time.
I like closing out each interview with kind of a fun random question. If you could have dinner with anybody, past or present, who would it be?
Okay, I have a lot of Adam Sandler decorations in my room, so I'm gonna go with him. I think that would be really funny. I think that I love comedy. I think we'd have a good back and forth. I'm gonna go with Adam Sandler. Big fan of his films. I wish him well on Happy Gilmore too. Um, so there you go. There's my answer.
I love it. Well, Paige, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, and best of luck to you and your team the rest of the
Thank
season.
you so much. I appreciate it.